Hi, and firstly, thank you so much for downloading this ebook. I hope you've gotten a lot out of it. And this is probably one of my favorite things to show people when they have a free call with us. Because as you might know, if you're running Facebook ads, this is what Facebook gives you. By default, this is sort of all you can see. And like, it's nice that in the last 14 days, we've had this number of purchases. Facebook doesn't even give us the total anymore because there's some different attribution settings here. There's a cost per purchase, there's an amount spent, but am I making money? Is this profitable for your business? It's really hard to tell. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the settings and how to set it up so you can actually see whether your Facebook ads are profitable. So the first thing you're going to do is come over here to these columns and performance and change it to performance and clicks. This gives you a little bit more data. So this starts to show you a little bit more of what's happening. So we can see how much it's costing you to reach 1,000 people. If you have run ads over Black Friday or a heavy sales period, you'll know that this gets really, really high. But generally around this sort of mark, up to that sort of $10, $15 mark is pretty good. We'll then see your cost per click, how many clicks you're getting, all those sorts of things. Gives you a little bit of a better idea of what's happening, but not enough to know whether your ads are profitable. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here and we're going to go customize columns. You can see we've already set this up for this client. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start typing in some things. So we're going to go landing page views and we're going to go total. And then we'll organize this at the end. Then we're going to go view content and we're going to go total and cost. We want to know how much things are costing us. We're going to go add to cart, total, and again, cost. We want to know how much things are costing us. And then we're going to go checkout. And then we're going to go purchase. Now there's lots of these. So we're going to go total purchase. We're going to go value of purchase, cost, and then this one called return on ad spend. Now, before you do anything else, we're going to scroll all the way down here. Firstly, we're going to untick all of these tick boxes. Otherwise, it's just too much information. And if you're downloading my ebook, it's definitely more than what you need, and it's more than what we need for most of our clients. So we'll just untick all of these. All right, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to move this landing page views up to underneath link clicks. And we're going to save as a preset. So I recommend you type this in as ROAS tracking. We've already done this, so I won't save this for this particular client, but make sure you do if you want to come back to this and hit apply. Now you have a lot more data. So if we scroll all the way to the end, we get this purchase ROAS, which is the return on ad spend. Essentially, this number is the number of dollars you're getting back for every dollar you spend. I like to think of it as a vending machine. You put $1 in, you get $6.95 back. Most of the time, that's a pretty good deal around that mark. But you might find that for your business, you can be profitable on a 2 times return on ad spend or a 3 times. I had one quite difficult client that their break-even point was 30. They needed $30 back for every dollar they spent. We managed to get them there, but they had a very expensive product. Cost per purchase is another really good number to look at. So obviously this one here is quite high. That's their retargeting, but their retargeting is having some issues and we're working on that with them. But overall, that's still sitting quite nicely. The purchase conversion value is the number of dollars that your ads have generated. Number of purchases, these things. So once you start to get these numbers, it becomes a lot easier to see whether your ads are profitable or not. If this number is really low, if this number is really high, you start to get a better idea of what's working and what's not. And the best part is if you come into, say, this is our cold audience campaign, and you've got all of these ads, you can come in here and go, okay, look, this ad's got a 27 times return ad spend. This one's only got a 2. This is probably the one that we can turn off and we'll leave these really high ones on. When you don't have sort of this level of data, it becomes really hard to see what's working, what's not, what should get turned off, what doesn't. You're kind of flying blind if all you can look at is the number of purchases, because some of the ones that have got a lot of purchases might not actually be that profitable. And Facebook's a little bit funny about how they default them. So this sort of gives you an idea. If you're still interested, there are a couple other things that can really help in terms of working out whether you're going to be profitable and like working out where things are potentially causing you some bottlenecks. So if you're only in this to see how to set up that dashboard to see if you're profitable, we're done. If you'd like to stick around, I'm going to give you a little bit of an extra bonus and just sort of show you how to see where some of those bottlenecks are. So the first bottleneck that we'd like to look at is your link clicks to landing page views. Essentially, we want these to be pretty even. There'll always be less landing page views than link clicks. This is probably okay. It's probably not fantastic, but we've worked on her site as much as we can. This is probably as good as it's going to get. But essentially, if this number is drastically lower, it essentially means your site is too slow. People are clicking on your ad and giving up before they've even got there. There'll always be an element of people clicked on your ad and didn't mean to. So you can never ever get this equally matched. And if you are having it equally matched or better, there's probably something wrong with your tracking. So a little bit less is okay, drastically less, not great. The next thing we want to have a look at is your landing page views to content views. So you can see here that we've got 3,000 landing page views and 4,000 content views. We always want the content views to be higher than landing page views. Now, this particular client has a smaller product range, and it's the kind of product range where you would look at their collection and you would look at the product that you want, maybe another one, make a decision and buy. It's not a fast fashion brand where you kind of expect them to be looking at 3 or 4 different products. So if you've got a kind of website where you're sort of expecting people to look at lots of product, you want this to be much higher. So you'd sort of want this to be double or triple what this number is. If you've got a higher end product or a website with less products on it, a closer ratio is okay. So that's another one to look at, because if this number is too low, there's probably something on your website that's stopping people from browsing. And obviously we want our websites to be browser friendly. We want people looking at lots of things. Your next ratio then becomes your add to cart. This one's always going to be a pretty significant drop off, just because people like to browse, but not everyone is interested in buying. So this is okay. Obviously, if it can be better, you can look at things like adding trust metrics, adding more customer reviews, different product images, those sorts of things. In this industry that this particular client in, this is pretty standard, but that's a good one to pay attention to. And then you come down here. So add to carts to checkouts initiated. This is a really high ratio. If this number is a lot less, again, that tells you that there's something that's not grabbing them to go, yes, I must buy this. And then obviously your last one is your checkouts initiated to purchases. This tells me there's something wrong with the Facebook pixel. But in saying that, we are in a post iOS 14 world and the tracking is not fantastic. So these are a little bit of a guideline. But again, you can sort of look at that add to cart to purchase rate. That's a pretty good conversion rate of add to carts to purchases. So I hope that's helped you work out whether you're profitable, where any potential bottlenecks are. And again, as I sort of said in the ebook itself, a lot of people won't tell you this. They'll run your ads, you'll do a course, and you just sort of hope for the best. And if you have come in here and you're looking at this and you're getting really frustrated or upset that your ads aren't performing as well as they are, don't be too hard on yourself. It's really hard to get results when you don't know what you're looking at. So now that you know what you're looking at, you can start being a little bit more ruthless with what you turn off. You can go back to your agency or your freelancer and say, hey, what's this? Like, the cost per purchase is this, but we only make $15 profit on a purchase. Like, what's going on? We need to get this down. Let's change some things. Having this sort of information gives you a bit more control and a bit more opportunity to get that success. If you haven't known where your ads are and you haven't known perhaps how poorly they are performing or how fantastic they are performing, we could go either way. Either way, it's really important to know these things, know where to find that information so you can make the right decisions.